The Transformers, more than meets the eye. Autobots wage their battle to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons. The Transformers, more than meets the eye. The Transformers, robots in disguise. The Transformers, more than meets the eye.
Hello, this is actually the second attempt at doing a video for this. This is the Transformers YouTube community's top 10 Transformers that I own. And like I say, this is the second attempt. The first, for whatever reason, the film corrupted, wouldn't work, doesn't matter. Point is, this is the actual attempt. This is the actual thing. I have my bag of Sans Bras. This is the special bag. I will be doing this blind. I have 10 Transformers in there that I think are the top 10. I'm not doing it in order of merit or any of that bollocks. Can't be bothered with that. So this is literally just 10 from a bag to see which is my top 10. So yeah, let's do this thing, shall we? Oh, interesting. Okay. Number 10 we have Bombburst. I love Bombburst. I just have a good old look at Bombburst there. He's very nice. This guy's in very good condition as well. I love Bombburst. I love the Pretenders full stop. I'm a big fan. The reason being is that it's stupid. It's a stupid conceit. And it was never handled very well or consistently in the comics. Which we will go into when I review this guy again. I've done him before once already, but I'm going to do him again. But it was never consistent. Either you had giant humans and monsters, or you had normal sized human and monsters in Master Force. Now I love Master Force. It's probably my favourite Transformers series. The only problem is with the Pretenders is that they're a threat for like 0.3 of the seconds in the series, and then that's it. They are no longer a threat. In fact, are comic relief for most of the series. But Bombburst, aka Blood, was my favourite in that, and I do love the whole conceit of them opening up to reveal a robot inside that isn't very good. And there you have your inner robot, basically, you know. And he's not very good. He's not really that great, and he doesn't transform into a great vehicle. Basically, just his legs and arms just go around. Now then, I can't even remember how to do this. Which is really depressing because, you know... Oh, yes, I do. It's really depressing because that is the simplest transformation ever. That, apparently, is a plane. Oh, no. You've got to do the back fin up. That's very important. Why is this a plane? I hear you ask when you finally see it. Why is it a plane? Well, it's a plane because Hasbro says it's a plane. And Takara say it's a plane. And that's basically the reason why. That is a plane, apparently. That's... and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, they're a bit rubbish. And because they're a bit rubbish, I kind of like them. Plus, the colours on these guys are amazing. All of them. I just think they're so good because they're a little bit shit. And I think that's why I like them. I'm always a big fan of the underdog. So yeah, Bombburst, one of my favourites. This guy's in amazing condition. He's not one of mine from when I was a kid. I had none, but it's something I'd like to see them do again. So yeah, number 10 looks like it's Bombburst. What do we got? Oh, okay, wicked. I do like this robot a lot. It is, of course, at number 8. Oh, I just need to pop his backpack in there. Number 9, sorry. Number 9 is Generation Scourge. I'm a big fan of Season 3 of the Transformers. Massive, great big fan. And a big part of that is characters like Scourge and Cyclonus, who flippantly turned from being, you know, let's face it, in Transformers the movie, they were bit part players. They were not important at all to the main plot. So he took those and he sort of made them a bit better. Especially Scourge in the sweeps, he really sort of ran with that and turned them into these sort of almost comical set of cowards and sort of warriors who don't really want to be warriors, and then Cyclonus get all pissed off at them. So Scourge was a big part of that. Also, he's in one of my favourite ever episodes of Transformers, which is The Burden Hardest to Bear, where he gets overpowered by the Matrix and actually cries, although it could be just fluid coming out of his eyes, which technically is crying. So yeah, he ingests the Matrix for himself, becomes overpowered, this sort of eldritch horror, and yeah, I really enjoy that episode so much, and Scourge is a big part of that. So and this toy is an amazing toy. It's one of the best toys ever made in the Transformers line, because it just works for the character. It's been used lots and lots of times, but you cannot deny that when it's used for Scourge, it fits him so perfectly. So a big, massive fan of that guy. Who else have we got? We have, oh yeah, recent purchase from me then. It's funny for me, this one, because normally I am all about the character and the toy. And this guy, I couldn't really give a crap about it, if I'm being perfectly honest. It's Sandstorm, and it's the very recent Sandstorm, which is actually a redeco and a massive retool of Springer. Bought this at LFCC back in the summer, and really it's a great toy. I can't wait. I need to get the Springer version, and I need to get the Cloud Rodimus version of this guy, because it is such an amazing toy. As a character, he never really did anything. This is the problem. He's occasionally in things like the Wreckers. He's occasionally in Transformers Season 3, where he helped out Octim for a bit and got his own planet destroyed and taunted by Rodimus. Well, it wasn't a shit planet anyway. So yeah, really, I don't care about the character, but the toy is amazing, and I love the toy, and I will fight anyone who says the toy isn't very good. So a very big fan. So that's number 8. Oh, okay, right. Okay, bit of a story attached to this guy. This is Generation 1 Skids. Now, I know there is a new version of Skids out, and that's great. But this guy in particular, again, it's nothing to do with the character particularly. This I actually bought for me was this Generation 1 Skids by a very good friend of mine, who sadly passed away in 2012. So it's got a lot of sort of, you know, it's mixed feeling. It's a toy I love, and it's a toy, you know, I ultimately sometimes can't bear, because it reminds me of someone that I've lost. I do miss her a lot. Sadly, you know, she was taken very quickly from us. She found out she had cancer, and 2 weeks later she died. So, you know, these things happen, I guess, but it still wasn't very nice, a nice thing to happen to her. But yeah, she bought me this years and years ago. So it's very special to me, his kids. The character, again, he didn't really do anything, did he? He sort of hung around Generation 1, the cartoon, was never really important. And then he sort of got off with a cowgirl in the comics, and that was about it for Skids, really. Apart from that, in IDW, obviously, he does what he does, but that's not the same character, it's not the same guy. So, yeah, interesting on that one. So that was number 6, yeah, number 6, or number 4. The next one, I'm very happy with. Again, an LFCC purchase, but a character that I've wanted for a while in one form or another, and was very happy that it came out in the Generations stroke whatever it is line that it is these days. It is, of course, Generations Rat Trap. I love Rat Trap. I love him as a character. Why? Bit of a coward, bit of a douche, doesn't really want to be there. He's still there, and he still does his job, and he still does what he has to do. So I really like characters like that piss and moan and complain, but still do the job that they're meant to do, even though they're kind of scared out of their wits and would rather not be there. I mean, let's face it, Rat Trap's whole ethos is, we're gonna die, or we're all gonna die. And you know, it's because of that I love him. The fact that he does have this bleak, pessimistic view of life, and he is so defeatist most of the time, but still does it. He will do the job while moaning about doing the job. So they kind of lost him in not season 3, but they kind of lost him in Beast Machines. Kind of lost what I loved about the character, even though, you know, it made sense why he went off and did what he did. But they kind of lost it for me. More so than Rhinox. Everybody goes on Rhinox, you know, he wouldn't have ever become Tankor, blah blah blah. Well, to be fair, he was brainwashed. the character changes that happened to Rat Trap were just too massive for me, some of them. And I just couldn't sort of get on with the character at the end, which is a shame. But more on that when I actually review this guy. It's a great toy as well. It's a brilliant toy. I love that toy to bits. That's number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 5 then. This guy. Oh, this guy. I love this guy. This is Transformers Universe Darkwind. Or is it Darkwing? Darkwing, sorry. He is Darkwind, but he is in actual fact the character Darkwing. Now, as everybody knows, I'm a massive Dreadwind fan. It's my handle, and has been my handle for the best part of about 7, 8 years now. They brought out a botcon version of that guy, and nothing. Just nothing. You get various characters called Dreadwind, Darkwind, blah 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 blah. Never a Dreadwind. And the botcon one, unless you're prepared to pay silly money, it just isn't available. So this guy's the next best thing for me. And he is a great bot, even though he is ostensibly a robot with a plane hanging on the back of him. I don't really care. The colours of this guy work so well for the character. The face works so well, as my good friend Lee said. It shouldn't do. It's a Silverbolt repaint. This guy is Silverbolt in funny colours, and therefore shouldn't work. But he does so much, and because of that, I really love him. And he's really, really cool. And he does things like that, you know. Oops. Oops. I broke him, just like Lee did in his video. But anyway, I love that guy. He's so cool. And yeah, love him to bits. Okay, I'm going to start picking and choosing now. Okay. Cyclonus. Specifically Universe Cyclonus. This is the cartoon guy who I use as Cyclonus in my actual collection. The other guy, the more sort of aubergine coloured guy, is he ends up being the Armada, as 'twere. But this guy, because he looks so good in his cartoon colours, he's the guy that got the stickers from Repro Labels to make him look like Generation 1 toy Cyclonus. And obviously Nightstick got his little stuff as well. Why do I love Cyclonus? Let me count the ways. In the movie Cyclonus, again, Genero Warrior. He didn't do anything of note. Flint Diddy got the character in season 3 and decided, you know, we can do something with this guy. We can do something cool with this guy. And so he made him into the Decepticon version of Ultra Magnus. The soldier who is very honourable, who doesn't do evil for evil's sake. He does it to further the cause that he believes in. He doesn't believe, ha ha ha, I'm evil. He believes that the Decepticon cause is the right one, to sweep away the old order, to reinstate the new order, and to be as loyal to Galvatron as he possibly can be. And he does that brilliantly in Web World, which is one of my favourite episodes of season 3, because it just shows he's that loyal to Galvatron, he will section him to get him better again, effectively. And all through that episode, he actually feels bad about doing so, because he's doubting himself and thinking, I've done something bad to Galvatron, I can't do that. Even when Galvatron shoots him in the chest, does this guy still be loyal to him? So I love Cyclonus. I know he's got a lot of stuff in IDW that he's doing right now. I'm not up on the IDW comics, but I do love this guy, and I love this toy. It's a really good toy as the Universe version, and certainly one that everybody should end up picking up, I think, because he's brilliant. Next up, okie dokie. Had to happen at some point. I had to have some Micromaster. This is the Autobot Hot Rod Patrol. Weird choice, you might think. No, I don't think so. I did a video years and years ago reviewing these guys, and it was with a Happy Days soundtrack. So you've got Big Daddy there, Big Daddy. You got Greaser, and you got the other two whose names I forget, because really they're all the same. But you got the green one. I'm sure somebody will pick me up on this. Hubcap, I think he's called. And I always forget the white guy's name, because he's a bit boring. When you look at the rest of them and you then pick him, It is a bit boring. But these represent my childhood. I was very invested in Micromasters when I was a kidlet. I say a kidlet, I was about 15, 16, but I was still very invested in them. Galoo's Micro Machines had just come out, and Hasbro were looking to make some money off that market, basically. So they did. Very, very, very well, actually. Whoops, a daisy. So yeah, they made quite a lot of money off these guys. And these were sort of the pinnacle. These were sort of like the early 90s versions of these, and therefore they're bright neon colours and everything that I love, effectively. So I really, really like the Autobot Hot Rod Patrol for that reason. They remind me of a very nice time of my life when I was quite happy and you know, content with myself and stuff. So they're always good to look at, and I love Micromasters so much. Everybody knows that. I really need to start collecting them again and start getting the bases and stuff, but they're so expensive. I keep dropping them. And they're so expensive, but there you go. That's your Micromaster Hot Rod Patrol. Love them, love them, love them. Number 2 is a bot which will surprise nobody, really, that I love this guy. I profess my love for this guy so much. He's one of my favourite Autobots. And he's just a great character. And yeah, who wouldn't absolutely love this guy? It is, of course, your friend and mine. It is, of course, Mr. Wheeljack himself. What a brilliant toy, what a brilliant character. I love the fact that he's a mad scientist. I love the fact Chris Latta chose to voice him with a sort of Bronx, Brooklyn accent. This sort of mechanic rather than mad scientist. Because I would always say he's a mechanic, but he's a mad scientist as well, I suppose. But I just like the fact that a lot of stuff he does goes wrong. I love the fact that his tech specs say he's always in Ratchet's repair bay because he blows himself up all the time. I never had the original toy ever, so when this guy came out, the Generations version, I needed him. Obviously Trax came out first, but I always think that he was made into Wheeljack before anybody. I could be wrong on that one, but I don't really care. It's just a great toy, especially with the repro labels to make him look like his G1 version. He just looks so good and so cool, and I love his little wrenches. It's just a great toy to own and a great character that I absolutely adore and love, and I will review him again properly at some point. I did do him in the past ages ago, and sort of didn't really turn out as nicely as I'd like, so I will do it again. But love this toy to bits, really, really do. The next one is a case of I'm not as in love with the toy as you would expect I should be or would be, but it's the character. I love the character so much that the toy sort of gets a free pass for being a bit naff and being a bit of a crappy repaint. And I know there's a better toy coming. I should just explain very quickly. No masterpieces were allowed in my list because that's too easy. It's too easy to say Masterpiece Soundwave. Yes, well of course Masterpiece Soundwave. Of course Masterpiece Prowl. But you know, too easy. This guy is Ultra Magnus from the Fall of Cybertron line. Now he is really tiny compared to a lot of them. He's not the best robot, but he looks good as Ultra Magnus. God damn it, I like him so much, even though he's a repaint of a crappy version of Prime. He works much better as Ultra Magnus than he does Prime. And I love Ultra Magnus. I often said he is my favourite Autobot. Now why is he my favourite Autobot? Well, he's the soldier guy. He's the guy who didn't want to be a leader but stepped up. See, again, that's another thing. He said, I'm not a leader. I don't want to lead. But I'll do it anyway because that's what's required of me because I'm a soldier. And so that's exactly what he did. That line, that one line, I can't deal with that now. I hate that line and everything that it represented. Because for 30 odd years now, it's just represented the very worst of the character. That, to me, didn't have anything to do with the character. It was totally taken out of context. I can't deal with that now. Well, he couldn't deal with it now. He was trying to save people on his ship. Of course he couldn't deal with the fact that Cup and Hot Rod and the Dinobots were getting destroyed. That's not neither here nor there. He was trying to save Dan Hill and RC and Springer and all those guys. You know, he died protecting the Matrix and protecting his people that were on Junkyard. He died. He got drawn and quartered, for God's sake. You know, That's in the cartoon though. The reason I love Ultra Magnus isn't really because of the cartoon, although his season 3 was a badass, and anybody who disagrees, I will fight. I, along with the many people in the UK, love Ultra Magnus because of the UK Marvel Comics, because of the Jeff Senior and Will Simpson drawn battle that he had with Galvatron in Target 2006 and all that kind of gubbins. Because of that, everybody should love him. He was such a badass in that. He was such a hero, because he knew he couldn't beat Galvatron in any of the fights that he had. Galvatron was being powered by a god, for God's sake. So, I do apologise, I don't think it's Target 2006 either. But regardless, it's Target 2006, I am right. I'm getting old. But he knew he couldn't beat Galvatron. In any of the fights he had with him, he knew he couldn't beat him. But he did it anyway. And that, to me, that's a true hero. That's a true stand-up guy. More so than bloody Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime had it easy. He was powerful. Magnus was powerful, but knew he was always up against opponents that weren't the equal of him, that were sort of way more powerful than he ever was. And he'd take them on anyway, because that's the kind of guy he is. So, you know, who wouldn't like Ultra Magnus? I'm sure when I review this guy, or review Masterpiece Ultra Magnus, I will spaff on more about Ultra Magnus and how great he is. But for there, I will leave it. This has been enlightening for me as well as everybody else. Going through my robots and saying which ones do I think are my top 10. It's an eclectic list, to be sure. But hopefully this one will actually turn out and actually will go up on the Transformers YouTube community. I really do hope so. I want to be more of an active partner in it than I have been. Because I haven't really made that many Transformers videos over the past sort of 6 or 7 months. I haven't been feeling it, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I shall be at Rollout Roll Call celebrating 50 years of Transformers and G.I. Joe and Twins of Power and all that stuff. So, say hello to me if you see me there, basically. I shall be making more videos for the TFYTC. God's sakes. TFYTC. There you go, TFYTC. I'll be making more videos for TFYTC. For Sinners Know. And anybody else who wants their name to sort of what I'm doing. But until next time, this has been me, Dreadwind, with my top 10 robots. Take care of yourselves and each other. Subscribe, leave a like, do whatever you want to, really. Leave nasty messages on my YouTube channel. I don't know, do what you want, really. Like I say, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye bye for now.